Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Great Malabite.
Good morning, Ruben.
Looking sharp in this color.
So sharp.
Good morning, Victoria Tundu MKO Abiola.
Morning.
Looking sweet on a Monday morning in that yellow outfit. I don't want to talk about the length of the dress.
Not on television.
I'm leaving. Goodbye and good night.
Now let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story. Federal allocation, account and allocation committee meeting deadlock as states. Local government protest $418 million pari refund deduction. Governors insist pending cases must first be decided. Yes, the meeting of the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee held on Friday. And of course, according to a letter obtained by this day yesterday, the Governors Forum are peeved that deductions on the controversial, I will call it controversial, $418 million pari refund deductions has started, and they are not having that at all. Yes, there are cases recorded, and that amount is for consultancy services, put in quotes. Recall somebody, an advisor to one of the beneficiaries of that consultancy service was on this program. And I think it was Ruben who asked, what did you really do to deserve $418 million as consultancy services? Of course, the fellow was almost tongue-tied. But the governors are insisting that cases that are in court in connection with this should be disposed of before you start the deductions. Of course, we know the implication of this kind of deduction from the funds going to the states and the local government. It means there will be shortchange, at least for a while. And with the paucity of funds in states having tough time, we can understand why the governors are not taking this lightly. Of course, there are other stories in the front page of this day. Of course, the Monday interview with Bakare. I'm sure many people want to read this, because if you read this quote, I don't take my words back. It's not a prophecy, because if it's a prophecy, then I'm saying, thus saith the Lord, we must separate chaff from grain. I knew I would be the 16th president of Nigeria from age 13. Bakare again. I will remind Bakare of one of his prophecies. When President Obasanjo was elected, before he was sworn in, he came out and said he will not make it to Aso Villa. He did. Obasanjo is still alive. So, Pastor Bakare, when you make some of these statements, the records will be there forever. Now, let's look at other newspapers. Banks in defining moment as e-Naira kicks off today, yes. Unease over how digital currency will affect financial intermediation. Nigeria joins Bahamas, Sweden, Cambodia, South Korea as pioneer of CBDC. It's elitist, but will enhance efficiency of payment system. We are ready for rollout. CBN insists, yes, the e-Naira.
Which paper is that?
The Guardian? The Guardian newspaper. The Guardian, yes. The Guardian newspaper. Now, that the e-Naira, the long-awaited e-Naira, one of the innovations of Godwin Emefiele, will be rolled out today. That will have been done on October 1st, but for other, of course, parts of the independence celebration, the launch could not take place. But before we leave the Guardian newspaper, let's look at the story below the photograph. Declare bandits terrorists. 36 speakers tell Buhari one state of emergency on security. Sokoto governor seeks reversal of Telkom shutdown. Nigeria sliding into anarchy. Kan Youth Wing laments. Kaduna Anglican Bishop urges Buhari to save nation from the brink of collapse. With all these calls from bishops, youths, now speakers, you look at what the Economist wrote about this country and their call on the president. Well, the presidency has responded to that, but if you juxtapose the various calls and what the Economist has written, well, you will see some correlation. But we'll just move on to other newspapers. The Daily Independent newspaper, impending execution of Basel III may hurt banks report. Dividends payouts to be constrained for lenders with low capital. Framework may inhibit lending to SMEs, other riskier segments. Of course, the Basel III is an internationally agreed set of measures developed by Basel Committee on Banking Supervision in response to the financial crisis of the 2007 and to 2009. The measures aim to strengthen the regulation, supervision, and risk management of banks. Now, the Nigerian banks will be implementing that. They will be implementing the Basel III alongside Basel II, and when they get used to the Basel III, they will drop the Basel II according to that report. Now, the Punch newspaper, SIM-NIN linkage. Subscribers push for 2-month extension. Deadline expires on Sunday. Subscriber groups say registration centers extremely crowded. Fresh extension likely after NIMC NCC review. Telecom firms. Now, the Daily Trust newspaper on SIM. Despite SIM-NIN linkage, kidnappers, bandits still demand ransom via phones. Why it isn't working? Experts. Policy effective. Pantami. Now, if we just look at the Vanguard newspaper, airport concessioning, anxiety in aviation sector as federal government names bidders today. 4 international airports up for concessioning. KC Kasima bid for Kano, that's the Kano Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Manufacturing, and Agriculture. The bidding for Kano Airport we ought to be given right of first refusal by Courtney. Concession will improve airport facilities, airline operators. Now, if we just look at the New Telegraph newspaper, amended charges against Kanu. Don't blame IPOP for end-SARS violence, or Hanize tells Malami insists on warranted attacks on secessionist group is assault on Igboris. Buhari determined to tag IPOP terrorist group presidency. Now, the foreign newspapers quickly. The Times of UK, billions more for NHS in bid to tackle backlog. Yes, the backlog caused by the coronavirus pandemic. £6 billion will be announced by Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, in the budget on Wednesday. Now, of that amount, 2.3 billion is for capital expenditure to set up a network of over 100 diagnostic centers in communities across the UK. 1.5 billion will be used to create, 1.5 billion pounds will be used to create surgical hubs in hospitals to tackle waiting time for elective surgeries, while a further 2.1 billion will go into improving IT infrastructure and digitalizing of patients' record. That is how you deal with your health sector. That is why the NHS is the model for all across the world. I hope we'll borrow a leaf from how to spend on health instead of making paltry provision for the health sector in Nigeria. Now, the Wall Street Journal, Biden pares back policy goals as party edges closer to deal. Yes, President Biden, Joe Biden, with a series of deadline approaching, is holding meetings here and there with all stakeholders, especially among the Democrats, to ensure that he can push through his agenda. Ruben and the beautiful Tundu, Victoria
Well, thank you.
MPO Ebiola.
After what you did. Thank you. But I have to say, we all talk about the NHS and the British are so proud. You'll recall when the Olympics was held in London, I thought it was really quite moving that their opening ceremony featured the NHS as in actually celebrating the NHS as an institution. But are we prepared to pay 40 to 45%? I think if you earn less than £150,000 a year, it's 40%. Above £150,000, the next band is 45%. Are we prepared to pay that in taxes to fund our health system?
Well, we'll get to know the details fully when that budget is put on the table on Wednesday. And there are other details that are controversial, including the threshold for free meals in schools, which Rashford had been asking for to be increased from £7,000 to £20,000. But it looks like the Chancellor has no plans to do that. And also, of course, other details about the concerns of businesses with regard to taxation and also, where the funding for some of the higher spending units in that budget will be. But Wednesday, we'll have a greater clarity, and then we'll see how it goes. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Ofeni. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.